The Law of One, Book 5, Fragment 12, Session 23, February 11, 1981. Jim, Dr. Puharich never did visit us during the raw contact, so all of our questions about how he should prepare for joining the contact were only for our information. His strong desire to solve riddles and puzzles and his desire to prove spiritual truth would have made it difficult for him to become a part of our circle, since it was supported by the opposite mental attitude, faith. Carla, once one starts watching for synchronicities, one can find many a book, movie, or any other object or event bringing repeated messages and reminders of our path. So often, Jim and I will be discussing an issue only to find that for the next day or two, we receive confirmations meaningful only to us. And I do think that many wonders here are making today's movies and songs. One has only to listen to the wonderful words to current songs, sung by people as diverse as Arlo Guthrie and Donovan, Black Oak, Arkansas, and Earth, Wind and Fire, the Rolling Stones. The list is as long as my legs. We have wonderful company, we who wander here on earth. Session 23, February 11, 1981. Questioner: I can't answer this question, but I will ask it anyway since we are in the area that I think that this occurred in. I feel this is somewhat of a duty to ask this question because Henry Puharich will be visiting us here later this month. Was this entity involved in any of these times of which you have just spoken? Ra, I am Ra. You are quite correct in your assumption that we can speak in no way concerning the entity Henry. If you will consider this entity's distortions with regard to what you call proof, you will understand or grasp our predicament. Questioner: I had assumed before I asked the question that that would be the answer. I only asked it for his benefit because he wished for me to. This may be a dumb question. There is a movie called Battle Beyond the Stars. I don't know if you are familiar with it or not. I guess you are. It just seemed to have what you are telling us included in the script. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. This particular creation of your entities had some distortions of the Law of One and its scenario upon your physical plane. This is correct. Jim, the following information refers to two of the most widely rumored events in ufology in this country. The first refers to the supposed face-to-face meeting between extraterrestrials and then-President Dwight D. Eisenhower and some senior military staff at Edwards Air Force Base in California in February 1954. The second incident refers to the supposed crash of a UFO outside of Roswell, NM, in which the ufonauts on board supposedly died. It is further rumored that their bodies were stored in Hangar #18 at Wright-Patterson Air Base in Ohio. Once again we encountered the temptation to pursue information that seemed on the surface to be extremely interesting but which in truth would yield little or no information which might aid in the evolution of mind, body, or spirit. And we would have lost the raw contact because Ra's narrow band contact was focused only on aiding our evolution and not on revealing the transient intricacies of how groups play games in this illusion. Carla, in 1962, when I joined with Donald to help make up the initial meditation group, which grew into L or L Research, there were several rumors being brooded about. Supposedly, the government knew all about UFOs, had contact. There were alleged conspiracies that various sources warned the public about. To this day, there has continued a steady stream of such prophecies and doomsday warnings of all kinds. Only the dates of Armageddon have changed, usually predicting doom within the next 2 or 3 years. It is not that I do not think UFOs are communicating with our government. They might be. Certainly they are here. The landing trace cases alone prove that something that makes dents in the ground is visiting us, and the many witnesses and abductees create a comprehensive picture of human-alien contact that is undeniable. It is that I feel that the real treasure the UFO entities have brought us are those of the spirit, not those of this world. Whatever the physical reality of UFOs and governmental doings, they remain part of the transient world picture, part of this heavy illusion. but the messages have a metaphysical content that 10,000 years would not make out of date or less meaningful. So I tend to respond to people's questions about such hijinks as these with a redirection back from phenomena to metaphysical truth. Session 24, February 15, 1981. Questioner: one thing that has been bothering me that I was just reading about is not too important, but I would really be interested in knowing if Dwight Eisenhower met with either the Confederation or the Orion Group in the 1950s. Ra, I am Ra. The one of which you speak met with thought forms which are indistinguishable from third density. This was a test. We, the Confederation, wished to see what would occur if this extremely positively oriented and simple congenial person with no significant distortion towards power happened across peaceful information and the possibilities which might append therefrom. We discovered that this entity did not feel that those under his care could deal with the concepts of other beings and other philosophies. Thus an agreement reached then allowed him to go his way, ourselves to do likewise, and a very quiet campaign, as we have heard you call it, be continued alerting your peoples to our presence gradually. Events have overtaken this plan. Is there any short query before we close? Questioner: another question with that is, was there a crashed spaceship with small bodies now stored in our military installations? Ra, I am Ra. We do not wish to infringe upon your future. Gave we you this information, we might be giving you more than you could appropriately deal with in the space or time nexus of your present somewhat muddled configuration of military and intelligence thought. Therefore, we shall withhold this information.